me feeling like I'm academics.
Stephen A. Smith was doing this in a very shrewd way. He was backtracking from Shannon Sharpe. He was criticizing him not directly, but he was still criticizing him. He used trigger words. Oh, I'm uncomfortable with some of how Shannon Sharpe. He didn't really say Shannon. He said Shannon's lawyer. But if you're criticizing the lawyer is operating on behalf of Shannon. So you're basically talking about Shannon Sharpe. You just won't say it directly because you understand Shannon Sharpe has this cultural cachet still. And a lot of people within the audience that you enjoy the benefit of that he still has, they don't believe that chick. So you don't want to just say, man, fuck Shannon, but you have them bosses at ESPN and you're on that side of it and also you got to be clean because you're going to run for president at one point or supposedly. So it's only fitting that he goes on a cultural show, Big Boy. And now he's on Big Boy's show. He's now talking about Shannon, but it's a very different tone. He's now mentioning, I think some niggas was hating on Shannon. Oh, people thought I wasn't riding with Shannon, but I fuck with Shannon. And you're like, why you ain't saying this on your show that's pretty much backed by ESPN, the Stephen A. Smith show? Why when you were talking about what the bosses told you, why you ain't say all of this shit? Stephen A. Smith is smart. You get on a platform that only talks to the niggas, and then you say, I got my brother back. But when you're on the platform where you know those people in the suits and on the 60th floor who cut them checks, you'd be like, yeah, I'm uncomfortable with this shit. Shannon's lawyer is out of pocket. He's handling this a mess. And according to the bosses, Shannon had to step down. You know what I mean?
Bro, NBA players in a pro sport, and I'm a man amongst men. Don't take up for me, mommy. So now cut to Stephen A's doing his job. His job is to critique NBA players and the sport of basketball. And now here you are rescuing your son twice because you got him in the league when you knew.
I never went to Sierra Canyon because I knew if I walk in, I'm at a point.
Okay, you talking about LeBron?
Melo was pissed.
Conversations when that's more privy than what we could share. But when you saw this breaking out, what did you think as Stephen A. Smith, a comrade, associate, friend, brother, black man, everything?
It was important for me not to be selfish.
Okay, I think this is a Shannon Sharpe topic. Let's go.
Is this what we do? Like, what's your not position, but where do you think is everywhere? And Shannon Sharpe is doing I Love Club, Shay, I love everything, but god damn, man. When I saw this one, I was like, I remember someone told me years ago, and I brought it up earlier, the bigger you are, the bigger the target. And Shannon Sharpe, to me, is on his A game everywhere. And when I saw the 19, 20-year-old OnlyFans girl, I'm like, bro, is this what we fucking with? Is this what we do? Like, what's your not position, but where do you think what's happening now? And I know he's kind of stepping back from ESPN and gonna come back for football, and you probably had conversations.
That's cap. They ain't bringing that nigga back.
When that's more privy than what we could share. But when you saw this breaking out, what did you think as Stephen A.
Boy Bullet Gaming? Thank you for the 5 gifted, bro.
Smith, a comrade, associate, friend, brother, black man, everything.
It was important for me not to be selfish. I'm not going to, of course, I've spoken to him.
What did he say?
I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you.
That's the last time he spoke to that.
But I feel about Shannon Sharpe the way I feel about Ryan Clark, the way I feel about Marcus Spears, the way I feel about any of my teammates at ESPN. I mean, we have a great group of folks, and it's a genuine friendship with one another. And I got a lot of love for Shannon and getting to know him. I haven't known Shannon all of these years the way that I've known the others. I've met him in passing and stuff like that. And then, we became friends once I went and got him and brought him on board at ESPN. And I'm very proud that I brought him on board because I think he's done an exceptional job for us. His effort was contagious. He never cheated us. He always came on the air, always ready, always enthused about performing and doing his job and making sure he contributed to the ratings, which he did in a very profound fashion, and I'm incredibly grateful to him for that. When I saw the story come out, obviously I was alarmed like everybody else. You know, it's 9:58 on Monday morning. We got a show at 10 o'clock, and then the story comes out about the allegations against him. That was very alarming. I didn't know until 2 minutes before the show. And so when you dealing with something like that, it takes on a life of its own. And on one hand, you got to be very, very sensitive to him from the standpoint that he is profoundly claiming his innocence. But then in the same breath, you're looking at the stuff his lawyers put out, and you like, that ain't helping.
Yo, I hate that Stephen A. keeps saying that. Yo, Stephen A., let me tell you this. Today, chat, you want to know what my day consisted of today? I had to talk to my dog bite attorney. I had to talk to my other attorney. I was on the phone with lawyers for 2.5 hours today, bro. It's not fun. They brought up every single thing. They look out for me. Everything they bring up, you know what they say? Academics, what do you want to do? My lawyers can't do nothing without me telling them. I paid them. Matter of fact, after, you know what hurt today? After we had a great call, which, like, these days, I'm always thinking about attorneys. I got the best attorneys for. So I'm thinking about, I'm like, yo, so we're on like a group call, it's like 3 of them. I'm like, well, each of them are charging like $1,000 per hour. And I'm looking at the time and I'm like, I'm paying $3,000 for this call. This is fucking crazy. Anyway, trust me, don't get rich and famous. That's why. I'm telling you, lawyers, I love my lawyers. So I'm on the call and whatever, we're dealing with issue after issue, you know, just whatever, you know, they'll ask about, they're almost like damn near general counsel. Like, hey, do we need to handle this? Do we need to handle that? Do we need to handle this? So-and-so, like the next phase of, I'm already paying these niggas. The next phase is, chat, I need y'all to compile a list of any nigga who's called me any illegal name that I could sue for defamation. I got to get some money off of some of these rich niggas. Not the broke niggas. Any rich nigga who said something out of pocket, I need to start suing niggas. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Anyway, after that, they're like, yo, hey, Ak, I'm about to get off the phone. I'm like, good call. Great call. Let's do this next Monday again or next whatever. And right, I'm about to get off the call and be like, hey, we're gonna have so and so, which is their like assistant. They're gonna hit you up, and they're gonna send over the thing to get another retainer. And I'm like, oh, bruh, the retainer is like hella money, bro. Like, my nigga, paying lawyers is never fun, my nigga. And they're like, yeah, you know, that should cover us for the next like 2-3 months. And I'm like, how much thousands? Trust me, chat. Never fun. But I only say that to give y'all real context, because I'm paying lawyers out the ass. My lawyers don't get up and do some shit and be like, oh, Ak, by the way, this is what we did. Fuck no. Nigga, I'm paying y'all hundreds of thousands of dollars. They do what I want them to do. They ask me, do you want us to do this? Now, they give me their professional advice. But if I say no, they ain't doing it. So when I hear Stephen A. keep saying he doesn't like what Shannon's lawyers are doing, I have to say, Stephen A., stop being a fake nigga for 1 second in your life. You're criticizing Shannon in a bitch nigga way. Shannon Sharpe is paying his lawyers. They don't operate without his consent. They sit on calls like I sit on calls with my lawyer. If I tell my lawyer, could you draft me a statement? You know what they're going to say? We got this PR company. We'll get them a part of it, and we'll work with them to get you the statement, and you can tweet it out. That's how it works. They don't say we're just putting out a statement for you. It doesn't work like that. I'm the fucking client. I pay the money. I tell them what to do, and they give me expertise. That's how it goes. So when you criticize the lawyers or you criticize the move of the lawyers, you criticize the move of your mans. So I don't know why Stephen A. Smith keeps sitting here and playing dumb. You're criticizing. You're just trying to. And I'm telling you, Shannon probably. I guarantee Shannon stopped talking to this thing. I guarantee. I put money on it. Because this fake nigga shit, you got no criticism for Shannon, but you're criticizing him through his lawyers. His lawyers work for him. They're going off his advice. So what you should say if you was a real nigga, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know what Shannon doing, but that would make you fake. In reality, I think Shannon No, I think Stephen A should be like, yo, Shannon's my mans. I'm really caught in a really tough position because I work at ESPN. I'm cool with all the bosses. I'm kind of like a quasi-executive. I don't want to talk about this. I got a no comment on this until I find out more information. That's a real nigga shit to do. Hit him with a no comment. Nobody say you got to back up freaky ass Shannon Sharpe, but no comment it, bro. You put your 2 cents in and you criticizing his strategies. It kind of make you look like you doing the little rig around sucker move, bro. Anyway.
And then you're looking at
This is my segment.
what you know about Disney. See, that's where I come in.
Now, this is another problem with my man Stephen A. Yo, Stephen A, it's very clear you're more of a company man than a friend. Bro, it don't take they don't like, are they paying? I know they're paying you a lot of money, but they're not paying you to specifically go talk about Shannon Sharpe, my nigga. Just don't comment it, bro. Let them go to ESPN PR to go get whatever statement from ESPN. Why the fuck is you talking about it, but you're not even backing your mans up? You're kind of low-key even saying, yo, this shit making me uncomfortable. I don't know what's going on with this shit. I hope it ain't true, but this shit kind of is weird. Bruh, shut the fuck up. If you ain't going to talk about it, be like, yo, I ain't going to lie. If you going to talk about it, this is how you should talk about it. Hey, I know Shannon, and from what I know Shannon, this don't sound nothing like him. I looked into that shit. That bitch looked like she lying. That's it. Or you could take the layback approach. Man, I don't know what's going on with that. All I know from the time I knew Shannon, I don't think he has an anger problem. You could speak to some of these things because that's what they're trying to build up. They're trying to build up this idea that he has this anger problem, that he snaps and he's choking white women. Nah, you could, from I know him, he don't got no anger problem. I've only seen him deal with the PAs and the executive producers and the producers on our show at First Take, the women with the most tremendous care and love. You could speak to his character. You don't got to speak on the case and just get out of there. When you over here talking about his strategy, you know why Shannon Sharpe and his lawyers are doing that? They thought that at one point the bitch was going to put out a fucking sex tape where he's choking the shit out of her and donkey fucking her. The nigga's like 250 pounds. He probably stuck so much needles and steroids all in him. This is why this nigga look like the fucking Hulk. It's never going to look consensual. That chick he was fucking, she's 120. He's 260. Muscular as fuck. There's no way, even thinking about it, it's going to look crazy. So they thought the video was going to come out, so they were trying to jump ahead of mad things. By the way, that's another thing, too. That's what I'm like with Stephen A. doing the fuck shit of criticizing his man's lawyer. Bruv, look at what just happened with Fat Joe. Fat Joe about to get sued. They're trying to say Fat Joe is fucking 16-year-olds. Like, I hate to even bring it up because I think it's cap. But here's the thing. You know what Fat Joe lawyer did? Fat Joe hired Joe Tacopina. That's the nigga who just got Rocky off of that shooting case. You know what they did before the lawsuit even came out? They sued the nigga who repeated the bullshit that Joe did that, which is a former hype man, and they sued the lawyer that's going to be doing the lawsuit because they were cooking the shit up trying to defame him. And so they jumped ahead of it. The strategy, and the people just seen Jay do it. You jump ahead of this shit. You meet it head on. So, like, when I'm hearing Stephen A., who he's still talking on a soapbox like, yeah, you know what ESPN will never have to worry about? Me being in those situations. All right, great. You are the guy who's you walk around like Jesus. You have no issues and you'll never ever be called to the carpet, even if it's false. Got you. But the lay of the land and people who believe they're innocent or people who are trying to put out these fires, they're trying to be proactive. They're trying to meet these things head on. They're trying to be aggressive because we've seen what happens when you shut the fuck up and then these people just get to say thing after thing after thing. People just believe you and they call you Diddy. So when I hear him criticizing his man's lawyer, I'm like, yo, what do you think his lawyer's just like doing their own thing? You criticizing your man's. Like, Stephen A., either you're going to be a real nigga or a fake nigga. Or you're going to be a company nigga. I think you want to be a company nigga. It's no way Shannon Sharpe still talk to him. I guarantee it. I'm telling you.
You know about Disney. See, that's where I come in.
Once he said that, I'm like, just look at his face when he said it. Now you're talking about Disney.
Because none of these cats have worked for Disney as long as I have. and is as familiar and intimate about the inner workings of Disney and how they think the way that I am. And so I'm now imagining what Disney's going to ultimately do. So although I was hopeful that it ultimately would not lead to him being off the air, I knew it wasn't going to go down like that because I know Disney.
Right.
And so, you know, again, I can't say all the things that I've heard, all of the things that I know based on my conversations with him and my conversations with the executives. What I do know is that he has emphatically and profoundly proclaimed his innocence from a legal and libel perspective in terms of, you know, not assaulting or raping or doing anything like that to anybody. He is emphatic that he is innocent of those things. But the court of public opinion is what the Disneys of the world and others concern themselves with. That's a more immediate issue. And unfortunately, that has worked against him at this particular moment in time. So I'm hopeful this will all go away. I'm hopeful that I'll have my brother back on the airwaves talking football next season. I don't know if that's going to happen or not because we don't know what else we're going to learn and what Disney's going to be comfortable or uncomfortable with or anything like that. But you also have to remember where the relationship really originated in terms of he and I. He was pushed out at Fox.
Yeah.
And I know there were folks there that wanted that to be the end of his career, and I wasn't going to let that happen because I remember how folks tried to do it to me in 2009, and I was blessed and fortunate to be a brother in a position where I could do something about it, where I didn't have that luxury of having that.
I ain't gonna lie, Stephen A. Smith he's a company man. I will never call him a snake because I think he's made his intentions and his POV very clear. But even when he's talking about Shannon, and Shannon is in a fight for his life, you see how he brought the conversation around back to him? But yeah, I did help this nigga out. Like, you know, kind of patting himself on the back for helping him out after the Fox situation didn't work out.
That's somebody there for me like that. And so for me, anytime you mention him now, you're thinking about me to some degree because I brought him on to ESPN, and that just elevated his profile and assisted in Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, and all of that being taken to another level. And so knowing that, that's why I felt...
Fuck no. Stephen A., I love you, bro. But fuck no. Club Shay Shay and Nightcap was lit. Like, if it was this lit before he went on First Take, it was still this lit when he got on First Take. First Take ain't make Shannon more lit. What are you talking about? Nigga, I don't even really watch Shannon on First Take. Nigga, we watch Shannon when Shannon doing his own bullshit. We like Unc.
It was important to go on my YouTube show, my podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. What are you talking about, like, First Take? Like, you see, this is what the problem is when niggas live in that TV linear land for so long. You think that, yo, let me tell you this. Somebody got to tell Stephen A. Shannon Sharpe helped y'all. Y'all didn't help him. The only thing y'all did was give him a badge saying you're a ESPN First Take co-host. That's it. But that meant nothing. He brought more to the table. The nigga was lightning hot. Nigga was hot as fish grease.
And so knowing that, that's why I felt it was important to go on my YouTube show, my podcast, the Stephen A. Smith Show, and just let everybody know I'm not here to speak of innocence or guilt from a legal or a civil situation. That's for them to handle or whatever. I know the brother tells me he's innocent. I believe him.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But most importantly, I'm his friend.
Right.
And that man has done, you know, he's helped me immensely. It ain't just me doing for him. He's done for me as well in terms of his performance and his dedication to his craft and how he's helped us in terms of the show itself and how he helped us continue to explode. And I'm incredibly grateful to him for that. And I know that he does not trust easy and that the honest conversations that he's had with me, he wouldn't have with just anybody. So I'm going to honor that, and I'm going to make sure that he knows and that everybody knows that no matter how things go down, Not to say that he would rely on me, but if he ever chose to, anything that I can do for him as a friend, I will do.
The court of
Cap. You know what he wants you to do as a friend? Is stop saying the weird shit talking about his lawyers is making you feel uncomfortable. How about you say, man, we don't believe that bitch. Or shut the fuck up. We don't need a You see, remember Shannon says he was going to be open. His lawyers told him shut it down. And he agreed. Oh, I'm going to shut it down. Right? He don't need you. Like, you have to realize these stories, the biggest people in the world that could talk about this story other than Shannon is Stephen A. And Stephen A., if you're not a staunch advocate and a supporter and a defender of your mans, what you're talking about on these platforms about Shannon Sharpe and that issue is only hurting him or just not helping the case. If you're not defending him, I'm telling you, do more favor to him by shutting up. Just don't say nothing. Because no one else's opinion matters about this other than Shannon, and he stopped talking. And then the person who is his co-host on ESPN, which we knew ESPN was probably going to make a move. You. So if you ain't going to just back him up, just shut up. You don't got to say nothing. Just sometimes you could be like, yo, listen, man. Shannon, I'm cool with Shannon. Man, I don't really know what this other stuff is. I'm going to let everything figure it out.
public opinion is a lot, bro. And it's crazy because you'll hear, the shakedown, the $10 million offer, the $50 million lawsuit. And I always tell people, I say, man, if they say we're going to give you $10 million, we're going to give you $50 million, or we could lock him up for 5 years, what do you think that person would choose?
What do I think the person would choose? Which person? The person being accused?
No, the person that says they put like, old girl. Mm-hmm. If they say, you know what, we give you $50 million, or we can lock him up for 5 years, what do you think she'll take?
$50 million,
right? So this and my thing is this: I don't fault any victim, but that's why some people don't come out when things are happening as well, because there's a lot that goes on with somebody either trying to get a check. Right. And this right here, as soon as I saw Busby was her attorney and all this kind of shit, I was just like.
And we saw what the situation went down with Diddy and Jay-Z when it came to Busby as well. And so, listen, like I said, none of us really, really know. And it would be really irresponsible to get into the minutia of it all because we just don't know. But in the end, when you see the details that both parties let out, it certainly seemed consensual to me. But, I'm not the courts. I'm not whatever. So I can't really touch it because I'm certainly not trying to get sued.
Right.
But I will tell you that, again, to see the great things that he has been doing and to know the potential is out there for all of this to be derailed. I'm incredibly sad for him. I'm sad for us as a show because we're better with him than without him. But right now, it's just about him getting his house in order and doing what he can to get past all of this.
And 7th or 6th?
Listen, we all have friends that found themselves in various predicaments throughout our life. And you can look at somebody and even if you take issue with their choices and what they've done, you can still sit up there and look at them and say they're a friend. And it means the world to them.
And this is the time.
And it means the world to them. And so for me, all I want him and anybody to know is that you ain't going to see me excoriating him. You ain't going to see me disrespecting him. You're not going to see me stripping him of my support. I can tell you what I think you right and you wrong about, right? Getting your ass about it. And then turn around and say, okay, how can we help you get back past this? All of that comes with friendship. And I think that true friends conduct themselves that way. They ain't yes people that tell you just what you want to hear. They ain't no people that's willing to vilify you to second something. I mean, I see cats talking about him, and I can't even put into words the shit I've seen them do. And heard about them doing, especially in our business. And so it's like you just, and then I see the zest with which people are willing to pounce on him. And it's like, listen, people have been after him since he did Cat Williams. You know, they've been at his neck because of the numbers he produced and the success that it had and how he was able to ride that wave. Now, once again, that's separate and apart from all of this. We get that part. I'm not talking about what people are talking about and what they have to talk about. I'm talking about the zest with.
Yo, Stephen A., I'm gonna say the quiet part out loud. They think you probably felt the way too, because Shannon was the draw. Like Shannon is you know, I seen somebody say it recently. ESPN and First Take gets numbers. ESPN and First Take has limited cultural impact. Shannon Sharpe's IP and properties like Uncle or Club Shay Shay and Nightcap, they are impacting culture, which that's what First Take doesn't have right now. Some people felt like you was looking over at what Shannon was doing and what he brings, maybe not like in a crazy uptick in numbers for ESPN, but you want to have that cultural impact that he got. So when you see like he get knocked down a notch, this is your time to kind of like, what the fuck is Stephen A. Smith doing on a press run right now when your man's is going through the, like, what is he promoting? Because somebody tell me, what the fuck is he promoting? If I'm going through the toughest time of my professional career, I don't want my partner in crime on a show, no pun intended on partner in crime, going on a press tour talking about what I'm going through.
With which they do it. If I sit up there and I'm friends with Big Boy, I'm a contemporary colleague with Big Boy, right? And then Big Boy get in trouble. It's one thing for me to be on the end going like this, yeah, you know, I mean, this is what happened to Big Boy. And it's another thing in time to be like, yeah, you see what happened to Big Boy?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you just see that and you see a joy that some people are having and going at him, and that's sad. You can talk about it, but we know the difference in terms of the flavor that you're bringing to an equation where you're talking about somebody with glee and joy in your voice when, you know, when you're talking about the kind of predicament they find themselves in. And that's what I have a problem with. So for me, it's just about making sure that he knows, and anybody that knows how I feel knows that he matters to me, and I want him to be okay.
Man, thank you for sharing that. I want to go a little rapid fire with you.
Sure, I'm good.
Okay.